What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. We're gonna get straight into the video so that everything is fast and y'all get all your information as soon as possible with no clutter. Today we're gonna be talking about volatility is a gift to the faithful. Because right now BTC is at 78,000 and everyone on crypto Twitter is now claiming that we are in a bear market. Everyone is claiming that we're going down to 25k. Everyone thinks we're going down to 30k. But in reality, what is happening, right? I don't know. I can't tell you exactly what's happening, but what I can tell you is what I'm seeing that is happening online that they are telling us. Okay. Right now, Bitcoin is sitting at $78,500 on the dot. So what are the possible things that are causing these huge market sell-offs? From what I have seen, we have ETF outflows that have reached over $1.2 billion the past couple weeks. I've seen three mass liquidation waves on three different crypto exchanges, and everybody knows when liquidation happens, the market goes that way. So when people get liquidated long, market goes up. When people get liquidated short, markets go down. And we've seen three of those markets going down. We see people getting liquidated to the downside three times in the past day on a Sunday, which is kind of crazy. Another thing is people are selling what they can and not what they want. Sorry about that. Okay. So, everybody knows crypto is the most liquid asset that you can sell and that you can buy. If you were to sell your gold, you would not be able to sell it immediately. That's what a risk asset is. Highly liquid assets that are volatile. I want to look at this meme, guys. Yeah, this is currently what is happening, and I want you guys to look at this and really embrace it and put it in your noggins, chat. That this is currently what's happening and this is where we're at. I digress. So are the markets front running or what? Like could the markets be front running announcements that happened during the weekend? Like Kevin Warsh's Fed chair nominee announcement. The Chinese Xi Jinping, they've declared that they want the yuan, the RMB, to become a world reserve currency. Or is it JP Morgan manipulating the silver market price like before, like they did? But or could it be gold and silver paper contracts mean nothing when the investors want the physical asset? So here we have a bunch of different parts that are kind of straighting the system. But I think we're fine. I think everything is good. We always need proper market correction before we can go back up. Because we all know gold's big rush was not sustainable. Silver's big rush is not sustainable. And yeah. So we're gonna talk about Kevin Warsh for a bit because I think it's actually quite important that everyone starts to know who he is and what he's done in the past so that everyone understands what to do with their money. So Kevin Warsh started his career at Morgan Stanley in 1995 when he rising to vice president and an executive director in the mergers and acquisitions group in Morgan Stanley. So he was in charge and he was the head of mergers and acquisitions. He became George W. Bush's assistant for economic policy, and he became the secretary of National Economic Council, advising on capital markets and securities, banking, and insurance. So he was in George H.W. Bush's ear. Not H.W. Bush, just W. Bush. He became a Fed Gov 2006 to 2011, nominated by Bush, making him the youngest Fed governor in history at the age of 35. So they he's been in the game for a while now. He is nicknamed the crisis firefighter because back in 2008 during the depression, the recession, he was actually he was actually consulting a lot of the people like Ben Bernanke. He was Ben Bernanke's right hand man, and that guy was the Fed chair 2008. He was directly helping this guy figure things out when the market was going bad. During 2008, he was actually against the Fed printing money. He was actually against socializing the losses of these private corporations. Keep that in mind, guys. He's very market friendly. He's connected to Wall Street. He's got deep ties with financial institutions from his early days in Morgan Stanley and his crisis firefighting days. Because back in 2008, he represented the Fed at the G20. He's very skeptical on the current Fed's monetary policy, which is ultra loose monetary policy, right? He's argued saying that the Fed needs a regime change to restore credibility that they've lost, and that his goal is to lower interest rates and to gain back the public trust and credibility that the last administration had in the Fed. So what does this mean for us? What does this mean for people in Bitcoin? What does it mean for the Bitcoiners on the internet? So he doesn't actually see Bitcoin as a dollar replacement, but he actually sees it more as a strategic reserve asset that imposes market discipline on central banks. So he sees Bitcoin more as a policeman for policy for the Fed, flagging when the Fed misses inflation signals or mismanages the economy. So he 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 believes Bitcoin is not more of a money, but he sees it more of a set of rules to keep central banks accountable for what they do. He understands.
You made reference to Bitcoin, and I thought I heard a little bit of condescension that people are buying Bitcoin and these things.
But doesn't it, Charlie Munger, this is 2 or 3 years before he died, Charlie Munger attacked Bitcoin. He called it evil, in part because it would begin to undermine the Fed's ability to manage the economy.
Or it could provide market discipline, or it could tell the world that things need to be fixed.
Bitcoin does not make you nervous.
Bitcoin does not make me nervous. I can harken back to a dinner I had here in 2011 with someone who is another guest on your show. I won't say his name. Okay, I just did Mark Andreessen, who showed me the white paper. That was the original white paper. I wish I had understood as clearly as he did how transformative Bitcoin and this new technology would be. Bitcoin doesn't trouble me. I think of it as an important asset that can help inform policymakers when they're doing things right and wrong. It is not a substitute to the dollar. I think it can often be a very good policeman for policy. And if I were to speak more broadly to what did Charlie Munger and others perhaps have in mind, there is a proliferation of securities that go under all sorts of names. Many, if not most of them, are not worth what they might be being traded for. So what did Charlie say, and maybe his pal Warren say? There's the innovators, the imitators, and the incompetents. There are real innovators that are happening in and around that new technology. And what I would try to impart towards businesses and bankers is that the underlying technology that Mark showed me in that white paper, or tried to show me in that white paper, it's just software. It's just the newest, coolest software that will provide us an ability to do things that we could never have done before. Can the software be used for good and evil? Yes, both, like all software. So I don't cast aspersions like that. If there's a final point, it's these technologies are being built here. I don't just mean on Stanford campus. I believe in the United States. And the world's most talented engineers from China and Europe and everywhere, they come to the United States even now to try to build this stuff. And my view is by building it here, that gives us an opportunity to be more productive and create something very special over the next decade.
Okay, guys, I need you all to listen to this and ingrain this in your head because Kevin Warsh, he gets it. He understands that most of these crypto projects are actually software and technology rather than money. What have we been saying on this show for the past few videos? Most of these crypto projects are not money. They are actually modern day tech stocks. You are buying their software. That's one thing I like about Kevin Warsh. He gets it. Okay. One thing that kind of scares me with him is he is actually pro CBDC. Like He has argued that the US should be developing their own version of the CBDC to to counterpart, not to counterpart, but to go up against the digital yuan, which Kevin Warsh sees is a threat to the dollar centric system that we have built. So is this good or bad for BTC? I don't know, right? I can't tell you. I'm not Kevin Warsh. I'm not the Fed. I've got no connection to him. I can just see what they say, and people like to do the opposite of what they say, right? Don't forget, these guys are all elected officials, except Fed chair. We don't elect him. He's actually appointed, right? Okay. I wanted to touch this point because a lot of people that I know him personally have been asking me how come if Bitcoin is supposed to be the money in the digital world that we have now, how come we have not gotten there yet? If all these guide rails have been set into place, how come we have not gotten there yet? A few points here. Okay. Bitcoin cannot handle trillions of dollars of bids like gold can. Do not forget, guys, gold has had a 5,000 head start that Bitcoin has. Silver has had a 3,000 year head start than Bitcoin has. Bitcoin is only 15 years old. It's a little teenager. It can't absorb these trillion-dollar bids. If country were to pour trillions of dollars into Bitcoin, who would be able to sell these $1 trillion worth of Bitcoin to these countries? Nobody can, because our market cap does not even surpass 2 trillion. It's impossible, guys. China has a 1 trillion has a 1.5 trillion dollar trade surplus. Just China putting their whole trade surplus into Bitcoin would almost double the market cap. So it's not feasible. It does not make sense. The math doesn't math. The numbers are don't add up. It is too small of an asset to absorb these bids. It doesn't work, guys. We are too young. We are too early. Like when the world starts to grasp and understand the true understanding on how Bitcoin is the hardest money and how we need the hardest money for humanity to thrive. But they don't see yet. They see the technology, but they don't see the sound money. They don't see the hard money at part yet. As time goes on and on, adoption happens there. And there will then be enough liquidity to absorb these massive orders. Eventually, when there are enough people holding coins, when there are enough nodes going on, when there is enough supply, when there is enough demand, right? When adoption does happen, there will become enough liquidity for Bitcoin to swallow the world. Eventually, we will get there. I don't know when, but eventually we will get there. And everybody here in this show understands Moore's law. Everybody understands that how technology doubles every time, right? If Bitcoin is started 2009 and it's 2026, think about that, guys. How many times has the technology doubled itself, right? Just think about it. Just look into it. Like I said in the beginning part of this video, the Chinese declared that they want to become they want to become a world reserve currency. Right? Xi has stated that he wants the RMB, the yuan, to become the world reserve currency. RMB is now 26% of China's goods trade, up from 15% of 2022. Imagine that. 26% of all China's trades are now in their own respective currency. It's 74% of it is in US dollars in the current moment. 26% of it is in yuan. As time goes on, that 26% will get larger and larger, faster and faster, and their trades will drastically increase in yuan. And what China's been doing is they have been building trade partners around the globe, from Saudi to Argentina. They have been building their payment infrastructure They've been building the CIPS, the cross-border interbank payment system, which rivals SWIFT, right? Swift is the West version to send money across borders. The Chinese have been building their own version to fight that because you can't transfer yuan through SWIFT. You're transferring dollars. They have been piloting the digital yuan for years now, right? They have been using the digital yuan in China already. But the way I see it is right now, the US, we have stable coins. We have a digital dollar. We have stable coins, right? It gives us a free market. It gives us the ability to hold our coins with without having CBDC aspects. Chinese, on the other hand, they have CBDCs. They have program money. They have controllable money. So I just wanted you guys to look at that. So America, we have stable coins. We are free. So they say. Well, China, they have CBDCs. They have programmable money. And they are free. So they say. So what does this do to our worlds? So in the West, our financial capitals are New York and London. But as the Chinese move their yuan, their RMB to become a world reserve currency, it moves it to from then New York and London to Shanghai to Hong Kong. Low key kind of crazy, chat. Low key kind of crazy. I'll actually some of these topics I'll actually go into this in a deeper video in maybe a couple weeks. I've been a little busy, but yeah. So this is currently what I see is what's happening in the market, and did I could be wrong. I literally could be wrong, and I literally could have nothing correct. But this is just me contributing to the conversation, right? This is just me sharing my thoughts and what I think. If you think I'm wrong, dude, let me know. I'd love to see how I'm wrong. I'd love to see your point of view. I love to learn, man. I love it. So what does this mean for you? What does this mean for your money? What does this mean for us? What does this mean for us Bitcoiners? Realistically, buy some Bitcoin. Um, hold it yourself because it matters, right? What I always tell people is when you go to the bank, you try to withdraw all your money, you probably will not get it. And if you do the same thing on a crypto exchange and the crypto exchange goes down, you will not get it. It is the same thing. If it's not your coins, if it's not your keys, it is not your coins. It's like if I told my buddy to hold my $5,000 gold bars, right? And he holds it. And then he goes on, and I tell him, yo, I actually want my 5,000 gold bars back. He says, nah. He goes, nah. But he's across the world, right? Is it really my money if I can't spend it? No, it then becomes his money. That is what I mean. That is what I'm saying. Buy some Bitcoin and hold it yourself because it matters the most. By holding it yourself, you are accountable for your coins. You hold your time and energy in your hands. You can either buy Bitcoin or you could buy gold. I actually like gold. I like to hold gold and Bitcoin because it's really I don't think it's extremely smart to be an extremist. And with as much as I love Bitcoin, I also love my principles too. I understand that gold is not gonna go to zero, and I understand that gold's price will be appreciating with Bitcoin because as as the US will do their best to acquire more Bitcoin, the East will do their best to acquire more gold. Because as everyone knows, that the US is known for our brightest minds, our our financial tools, our media, and our culture. Those are the biggest things we export. Oh, and our money, don't forget. But we by holding Bitcoin, you are holding the old values of what we grew up America. Uh, by holding it, by supporting Bitcoin, by holding Bitcoin, you are in return. That is what I see is the modern version of the American dream. Freedom of speech, property rights, long time preferences. That's what I feel like we have lost. When they say the West has fallen, that's what I've currently seen and what I've been feeling. I digress, guys. So what like realistically what can you do? You can either opt out of the system or you can cling on to the cog that buys you a place into the system for the longest time. What do I mean? You can either you can either buy your Bitcoin, you can either, become an entrepreneur, figure it out yourself, or you can cling on to a cog that buys you a place into the system for the longest amount of time. You can become an AI generalist, you can become a data analyst, you can grasp onto a skill that can leverage the tools, the modern day tools, right? Be the one that controls the AI. Be the one that knows how to build the AI. Be the one that knows how to maintain it. Be the one that helps businesses integrate it. Boys, we are in a new modern world. We are in a new ocean that not a lot of people have swam. We are the new pioneers. We should be taking advantage of that. As a young man, as a young woman listening to this, we have to take it upon ourselves because we are the pioneers of the new digital world that we live in. All the people behind us, all of our ancestors, all of our parents, they that world that they used to live in is now gone. It is gone. It is shattered. The system has ruptured, like what Mark Carney said. The new world, the new monetary order, the new world order is here. It is China or the internet. I've been saying this since before. I believe that the world will be split into two: the internet versus China. That's another video, but that's what I think. Okay, so you guys should be getting physically fit. You guys should be living below your means, cooking food at home, and be conscious of what you eat. Those are very very important things that everyone is starting to miss. Dude, cook your own food. You should know what's in your food that you're consuming. You shouldn't be eating your goy slop, bro. You shouldn't be going to all these fast food chains that are just literally sludge, bro. You're eating stuff from the chum bucket. Literally, you're eating stuff from the chum bucket. One very 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 last important thing I want to put across at the end of this video is I need you guys to talk to your family, get closer to your family. Like, just do something with your family. Because what I've noticed is everyone has become very individualized. The the image of a family has now been broken, right? And I feel like that has something to do with all the problems that are happening in society. We have broken families, we have broken children that are having families that are and then having more broken families, right? If we all take a step back and turn your ego off and be acknowledge your mistakes and see that your family is actually not against you, that they they love you, right? They just like what they say, your mother knows best. She knows best from what in her eyes. She doesn't know what's best in your eyes. She just wants you to be safe. Your family wants you to be safe, right? So, last thing I want to say before I end this video is get close to your family, call your parents, tell them you love them, hug your siblings, just let people know how much you love them. Let people know how much you appreciate them. Like, people never get to really smell the flowers until their funeral. Like, people don't get to celebrate their achievements with the people they love until they are gone. That's not how it's supposed to be. You live your life with the people you love the most, celebrate it with the people you love the most, and enjoy it. There's more to life than this. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but there really is more to life than this. Take a step away from the screens, chat. It is important. Touch some grass. That being said, I love you all. I hope this informs some of you. I hope this inspires some of you. And I'm really doing this out of the love of my heart because I don't really have a lot of people to speak to about a lot of these topics. So this kind of lets me yap and have an audience kind of, and I really enjoy it. So I'll just keep doing what I do. I'll keep y'all updated when I see stuff and stay strong. Love you all. Don't forget, just keep mining.